Very warm welcome, everybody. I've got with me the England former coach, player, and the wonderful commentator, David Bumble Lloyd. Bumble, how are you?
Well, I've been better. I've just come out of hospital. I think it's not an operation; it's a procedure, and that procedure means there's lots of needles being stuck in me, and so I've had it before. It's not pleasant, and I'll find out probably in about 10 days whether it's worked. And it's an old cricket injury. It's in my neck, and it goes back to 1974 out in Australia. And nothing that you're feeling at short leg, no helmets, no protection, nothing. And I just tried to get out of the way quickly, and my neck locked. And so that's 1974-5. And I've had problems with it ever since. And so what the surgeons are doing, they're trying to burn out the nerves, burn them out so that I don't have any pain.
I'm sure I speak on behalf of every cricket lover, Bumble. We wish you all the best regarding your health for the future.
Yeah, that's really kind, but there'll be one or two thinking, I hope it hurts.
Bumble, let's talk the first test match. I mean, that's not test cricket, that's like T20 cricket over 5 days England were playing.
Do you know, I'm probably like everybody else. I'm fascinated by that game. Just with all the subplots about the game, and you see the pitch, and I saw the same Rawalpindi pitch, I think it was against New Zealand, totally different. And then the groundsman comes out and says, "Look, I give them what they wanted. This is what the captain and they wanted." Then the captain said he wants it to spin, and he's only got one spinner who's never played before. And so I think there's a lot of intrigue to the game. And then, of course, there's the way that England played the game.
This approach from England, Bumble, I mean, have you ever seen anything like it before? It's just absolutely amazing. It's incredible. And it's not just one or two of the players enforcing that approach. It's all of them.
It's a collective. And I think we've got to look at the wider issues. So the white ball cricket, and in particular T20 cricket, is taking the world by storm, the cricket world. And so to compete with that, you cannot play test match cricket to play for a draw. The public won't have it. The public are not fools. And so I'm not saying there's a conflict, but test cricket is up against head-to-head white ball cricket, and in particular T20. And I think with the England coach and the England captain, they've said, we're going to make this sexy. We're going to make it so that people will watch it, and we will lose. We might lose games. Now, that will go against many, many people. What do you mean you might lose? You've got to play to draw. And if you can't draw, if you can't win, make sure you draw. Well, that's gone out the window. He's come out and said, I'm not interested in drawing. I'd rather win or lose. And so, you know, there's a real subplot to it all. And, you know, they will come unstuck. Playing that way, they'll come unstuck against somebody, but they want people to watch them. And I think that's the sort of stuff that they will watch, because there's millions, trillions, billions watching T20 white ball cricket.
They are revolutionising Test cricket. Do you not think that, Bumble? Do you see other teams following suit?
Well, I go back, Sage, to the 90s. And when I was England coach, and we come up against an absolute crackerjack Australia team. And they were, they're bullish, and they're up there and they're out there. And we're going to score at 4 and over. And, I talked to Shane Warne, and he would say, the faster we get our runs, the sooner we're going to bowl you out. And it makes sort of sense, really. And that English attitude of years and years ago, a long time ago, over my dead body. And there was a role for Geoffrey Boycott and David Steele and Chris Taverett. There was an English role. There was an Englishness about it that, you're not going to beat us. Well, actually, we're not going to win either. And that massive change. the people in charge now, and Rob Key is stamped all over this, by the way. I don't know what fancy title, and he won't know either. But he's stamped all over this. That let's make it so that people enjoy what they're seeing. I think that's important.
From the Pakistan perspective, do you think they were bullied into giving up almost at the end and losing that match, Bumble? They seem to be very confused regarding how to approach that last day.
The word that you used there, which I'd agree with, is confused. I thought they were spooked by the declaration. You know, you can see a game like that, just, well, we're not going to win, we can't win, it's going to peter out, and we're just going to keep batting, and we're going to keep you in the field, and you can get tired, you can bowl who you want. He declared. Stokes declared. Now, that might just have bamboozled Pakistan, because what he said to them is, look, you're at home, you've got the pitch that you asked for, I'll declare very reasonably, now over to you, do you want to play? And I thought that Pakistan were quite hesitant. And I'm a long way away, a long way away. I think Pakistan would have been better saying, okay, the gloves are off, we're going to give it a right go. We're going to give it a real go. So I thought they got quite confused.
At one point, it looked like Pakistan were going to win, Bumble. They had the wickets in hand. Azhar Ali, experienced guy at the crease. But then I think once they started losing one or two wickets, they just seemed to fall away. Was that pressure, or again, was it confusion in their ranks?
Well, a few things. A new ball for a start. The new ball will always nip somebody out. And let's go back to Geoffrey Boycott. Let's go back to one of my great, I think, an absolutely fantastic commentator. And me and him have had that many arguments about this, that, and the other, but he's still a mate. He's still one of my pals. He would say, you lose one, look at the score and add 2 wickets, because that's where you are. Because at Test match cricket, the bowlers are good enough to get you out. And the new ball, the new batsman who comes in, they'll get him out as well. So you've lost 2. And so, you know, that was always in the back of Pakistan's mind, I'm sure. But if they'd approached it differently, if they'd have said, right, we're going to have a right go at you and we're going to puff our chest out and we're going to see what you're made of. You know, you've got come up with all this bravado and we've declared and over to you. Okay, we'll throw it straight back at you. It's almost like a boxer who's on the ropes and okay, and then he comes out fighting. Right, I'm going to have a right go. And I thought they missed a trick. They should have had a real belt at England.
Well, it was 17 years since England played a Test match in Pakistan. And from what you said there, the crowds absolutely loved that style of cricket that England were playing. And as we saw right to the end, to that 5th day, good crowds. How fantastic was it to see so many fans turn out in Rawalpindi and England and Pakistan playing Test cricket out there in Pakistan?
Well, you know, it's about time. 17 years. And I mean, you and I know each other. I'm a bit biased. I think it's one of the best places to tour. I had a wonderful time out there. There's so much to see. And there's a bit of chaos as well, which I quite like. That I like a bit of chaos in my life. And, you know, to get away from the cricket, you know, you're working on cricket, either as a player or a commentator or a pundit or a writer. Get away, just move away, see how people live, see what the culture is. I had a fantastic time. And so, you know, after 17 years to go out and play Test match cricket must be wonderful for the people of Pakistan.
But you wish you were out there, Bumble, doing a bit of work.
You know, I miss it. It's one of them questions that you get asked. Oh, where's your best place to tour? Well, I don't mind saying my best place ever, and I'd live if everything were right. And so, you know, my family was elsewhere. They're in England. My family. I would live in New Zealand. But then again, you get the romanticism of the West Indies and the Caribbean. But Pakistan is right up there. I had a fantastic time, as we all did. We had a lovely, lovely time on numerous occasions with some fabulous people, some great people.
And finally, Bumble, Pakistan will be shell-shocked after that defeat. Mentally, they'll be in a bad place at the moment after that loss to England. How do you see the next two tests going?
Well, I mentioned right at the beginning the intrigue. And so you now look at the pitch because Pakistan and the captain and the management will say what sort of pitch they want. I'll give them the best advice you can ever have. Take them on. Take England on. Don't sit back. Don't be spooked by them. Take them on, because you're world-class test players, just like they are. And don't forget, they've got a lot of rookies. They've got a lot of young kids. Take them on and see where we go. It should be fabulous.
Bumble, always a pleasure listening to you. And as I said at the start of the chat, wish you all the best regarding your health and you make a speedy recovery.
You're very kind, Sage. Thank you.